Alright, so today we're talking about graphing systems of linear inequalities, and the way that we do this is we start by graphing one inequality, and we'll shade that one, and then we will graph the other inequality, and we'll shade that one, and we'll look for the area where both the shaded regions are overlapping each other. So the first thing we want to do is start on the blue line here, and we'll start at a positive 3 on the y-axis. And then we'll do the slope, which is up 1 and over 1, because there is no number in front of the x. And so we'll go up 1 over 1, as well as down 1 and back 1 from there. The next thing we want to do is always look at the inequality symbol itself. And this is a greater than symbol, and that tells us two things. It tells us we are going to shade above the line, because we are looking for the y values that are bigger than the line. And then it also tells us that we are going to have a dotted line, because the line itself is not included. There is no line underneath this symbol, so therefore that is a dotted line. So we're going to graph that in with some dots, and this tells us that the points along this line are not part of the solution. Now we're going to have to do the shading. Now the shading for this blue line is going to be above it, so we're going to color in very lightly above the line in order to, make it easier whenever we're doing the overlapping region. We don't want to shade it in very dark, so we just sort of lightly shade. Now we're going to do the green line. The green line starts at -3, and it has a slope of -2 over 1. So that's going to go down 2 and to the right 1 to have a negative slope. But it can also go up 2 and to the left 1, and that will preserve the negative slope and make it go in the same direction. Now we're going to look at the less than or equal to symbol here, and that tells us two things. The first thing is that it's less than, so that means that we're going to be shading below this line. And the second thing that tells me is this solid line underneath tells me that we're going to have a solid line whenever we graph it. So this is going to look like one of our normal lines that we usually have. It's going to be a straight line. It's going to be solid, which means the points along this line are in the solution. Now the shading is what comes next. The shading is determined by the symbol, the less than symbol, and that less than symbol again tells us that we're going to be shading below this green line. So we're going to color in this area, which is the below area. And I think you can see, based on my colors here, that the overlapping region between the yellow and the pink turns this orangish color. And this orangish color is where the solution to the system actually lies. It is all the points that are in here. And that is your answer. We are not looking for anything written down. We are just looking for the graph of all the points that meet both the conditions. It's got to be greater than the blue as well as less than the green. So we have to shade above the blue, shade below the green, and wherever that section is overlapping, that is the shaded region.